Good evening, everybody. Jimmy Jackson, licensed realtor, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Right there below, Keller Williams, you're north. So I'm gonna make a video today. If you see the title, real estate auction, tax liens versus tax details. I'm just gonna show some strategies, some pros and some cons with residential and commercial. Like I just want to throw out there, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm just putting, basic tips, facts. If you have an interest in these type of things, so if you want to, listen, tune in. So let's jump in and put up a few things. So welcome aboard. I wanted to try that out, so let's hop in. First thing I want to throw out there is your auction strategies. So here are the pros and the cons of both commercial and residential. If you look closely, you see for both the commercial and the residential, the pros are you can get below market deals, transparent bidding process, quick closings in 30 days or less, access to large multi and commercial properties. That is, and actually, I apologize. This is more for the commercial. So let me restart that. This is more for the commercial. I apologize. Below market deals, transparent bidding process, quick closing. So with commercial, you have a like a smaller time frame for the redemption period, if they even allow a redemption period. Every state is different. Um, uh, a redemption period is a time that the buyer has to repurchase the property. Like I said, every state is different. Some states they got 6 months to a year. Sometimes they have 2 years. So in commercial, they have like 30 days or less to come up with a lot of money. And like it says right here, you have access to multifamily and commercial properties. The cons, you must provide proofs quickly. You need 10% deposit required within 24 hours, which is usually a large amount. So usually people with a lot of money are the ones that are doing this. Or if you can find soft money, hard money lenders, you can get, deals with business partners or, obviously investors. Limited time for due diligence. So what you need to make sure you do is your NOI. I put a video up, like I said before, net operating income tracking. It's your gross income minus your operating expenses, and you always project your NOI before bidding. Always try to make sure you know how much money you're going to make. So you need to ensure that the property can service your debt and produce you money, your cash flow. So, you want to compare your current versus your pro forma NOI. Use your NOI to determine your cap rate and your evaluation. Your cap rate, you want to make sure you have pretty decent cap rate. The ones I've been looking at are like 7.5. I have one up. Track your monthly NOI post accusation to monitor your performance. So basically, you want to make sure that you're keeping track of your NOI. Stay on it, and your cash flow. Your refinancing strategies. So basically, as soon as you get a property, you can add value. If you renovate it, you can raise your rents. After you renovate it, generally, then you can refinance it at a higher appraisal. You can refinance it when these takes place and you renovate it, and let's say the interest rates drop, so you can raise the rent and the interest rates drop, and then you can refinance it, then you'll get a higher appraisal because you renovated it. So that's definitely something that you can do, and you can cash out. You can pull equity out once the property value increases. So you could use that to go buy maybe a residential, because this is a commercial. So your property might be worth 800,000. If you do a refinance, you put money into it and you renovate the units, you might be able to get it from 800,000. Let's just hypothetically, you put 150,000 into it. Now you got it down to 650,000. You put more money into it, then you get an appraisal, and now it's worth 900,000. For example, you just got 100,000 of equity. You might just take that money and go put down on another property. You know what I mean? Plus, with your interest rates that went down, you're paying monthly even less. So your cash flow is going to go up because your rent went up and your monthly payments went down because you refinanced. So that's money. Rate education, that's everything I just said. Build to agency, start with a bridge loan, refinance into Fannie or Freddie once stabilized. Working with realtors and brokers, if you're not a realtor or you're not a broker, they can pretty much be your business partners. They can help you identify comps, manage due diligence, and provide rental market data. A lot of investors who are not realtors or not agents, they have them like right on their hips. You know, just like they're call people, or if a realtor or broker will find an investment property, they'll call their investors. Like I know multiple investors, I'll hit them up. I get text messages from them like, hey, have you come across anything lately? You see anything? How's the market been? Every 2-3 weeks, they'll just check in, build relationships. Yeah, that's what I said right now. You have the auctions. Realtors can also help in repositioning properties post purchase, you know, for like leasing, tenants, and screenings. The conclusion is auction properties can be lucrative if approached statistic. I'm not even going to say that word. I'm stuttering. So focus on your NOI, plan for refinancing options, and leverage your brokers to maximize long term. The money's there, the risk is there. You know, if you have to know what you're doing, if you got to pay people for all those renovations, you're going to have to take that money, deduct that money from your initial investment. If the interest rates go up, you can't refinance. You know, if you don't take care of the property and it starts getting mice and raccoons in there, and you know it gets dirty, people are going to start moving out. Um, so you just have to take care of it. It's a risk. If you know what you're doing, go do your thing. So I also wanted to throw up another quick video on the tax liens versus the tax deeds. So let's share this tab. All right. Let me jump in here. Oh, and you know, just to kind of touch base on residential also, like when you get residential, it's going to be lower entry costs. So like a single family, a duplex, you're not going to pay as much. If you wanted to buy the property, um, and you're not, you know, trying to get it on the auction, you wanted, you know, just, you know, get the cash with the easier financing, those are available as well. And I pulled up the wrong tab. Actually, I wanted to show you this one. I just wanted to show you guys this real quick. I know I put up videos already on the auction, but this is another one. So like if you wanted to get, when you're getting properties that are auction properties, you can get them through the county. You can, and that, yeah, you can get them through the county. You can get them through the state, and you can get them through the government, I believe. Yeah, I know the government, and I know the lenders and the counties. Yeah, there you go. Because people can mess up with their lenders and lose their properties. The state does. I mean, I'm sorry, the county does their auctions as well. If you don't pay like your taxes, and then there's national ones too. That's the one that I posted on my other video that I did. So, and then let me make sure I touch base on what the name of the actual video is. So I'm gonna put up the auction really quick so I can show the national auction. So the video, I mean the web browser I have up right now, these are just like a property in Lansing. So like if you wanted to do like the Lansing auction, you know, the auction lists and open house schedule is made available for October 1st. If you want to do Kent County, you can look in Kent County or Ottawa County. You could just search it up. and I'm sure they do commercial and residential at the same time. Where you know, it might vary by state where they do different days. It's everywhere you go is different rules and regulations. Like for example, here is a um, national auction where you could get properties. Oops. Yes, this is the right one. Yes, the national auction. Let's see. Yeah, that's about right. You could get properties in what? Georgia, New Jersey, Florida, Missouri, Colorado, Illinois, North Carolina, Washington D.C., and these are multi-units. This is land. Uh, if you want a transmission car shop, turn it into something else. Whatever you want. There's tons of stuff on here. This right here, this is a lease multi-unit. I have it on one of my other videos when I was talking about commercial real estate. So I'm going to get to that auction in 1 second. I just want to knock these out real quick. Now, here is a property that I found in Lansing. Oops, my bad. No, this is the one in Grand Rapids. I'm going to pull up the one in. Is this one in Lansing? Yes. Like this one is in Lansing. I believe this one is in the auction. Yes, this one is in the, yeah, right here, duh. Auction on November 27th. So if you went online, this would be one that, you might want to buy and check it out. Here's the property tour dates. Like I said, they do different dates. So like right here, it said what? October 27th. So that was a different date from when we went out to the county. So maybe they do dates. Who knows what their county does? Maybe they do dates twice a month. Like a sheriff auction, they do those every Thursday in Kent County anyways. What did I want to pull up? Those are stuff for some reason they're not letting us see. Okay, so here's an example of stuff you want to look for. And the NOI is not on this one, but here's the sale condition, auction sale, property type, retail, built 2001. It's a 1-story building. The parking spaces, it's an investment property, a drugstore, type of ownership. Now this is the demographics. This tells you like how far things are, like 1 mile, 3 miles, 5 miles, 15-minute drive. The absolute population, the household demographics, the consumer spending, so you can see the neighborhood or the area of where you'd be buying the property. Population within 1 mile, 3 miles to 5 miles. So if I'm buying in this area, this is what the this is what the population is going to be like. Here's the population projected growth. Looks like people are leaving. That's why no one's probably going to buy it, because it's not anytime soon, because that area is not projected to grow. Looks like it's projected to people are going to leave. I'll tell you what, though, I bet you they're buying liquor stores and gas stations. So yeah, that's just something you want to check out. Let's check out one of Grand Rapids really quick. This is, nope, this is the same one. So like, let's say you want to buy this property right here. It's an advanced auto shop or advanced auto parts. This one has the cap on it. So investment, the net cap is 7.5. So your net operating income they're looking to make on here is 108,000. You'd have to do the math to find out your cap rate. 34 parking spots. It was built in 2001. It was renovated in 2011. And just, you know, nearby major retailers. You'd be by Flagstar Meyer Bank, another bank, which was Huntington and Fifth Third. You're by Applebee's, Starbucks, Bigsby. You're not, you're 31 minutes from the airport, 33 minutes from the station, from the Amtrak. So, if you went to a commercial state here, commercial real estate, something big, it takes a long time to close on commercial real estate, though. It can take like up to a year. So let's see. All right. So now I want to jump into, oops, sorry. So we can close this. Tax liens versus tax deeds. Let's see. All right. So key differences between tax lien and tax deeds. What you buy. You're buying a lien certificate when you're getting a tax lien sale. The tax deed, the property deed itself. So like if you get a tax lien, you can buy tax liens in some states where you buy the tax lien for like $5,000, and then the owner of the property will have 6 months to a year to 18 months or 2 years, whatever, to have a redemption period, but they'll get charged 16% like monthly. And if they don't pay that throughout the redemption period, they can lose that property if it's not been 6 months, and then you can foreclose on them yourself. And well, it's right here, actually. And you would have to do all of these steps to get that property from them. So you'd be like, okay, you didn't pay for 6 months or your year, your 2 months. Now I'm taking you to court. So I'm going to become the bank and do a foreclosure on you to get the property. But you'd have to have the money. You have to make sure you have the money to file, to do a service of process, to get an attorney, to get a title search, publication. For some reason, you have to do publication and advertising. I think that's a little bit odd. You have to do your administrative, non-judicial. This is foreclosing on a tax lien. So the tax deed sale is a little different. So, but your goal as an investor is to earn interest and penalty on the redemption. The investor goal on the tax deed is to acquire the property below the market value. The owner rights, you keep the property if the taxes and plus the interest paid, if you have to go through all of this, like we already discussed. The owner rights loses the property. So the owner rights is the person who owns the home. So they can keep the property if they pay the taxes and the interest that they paid you as the investor, because they have to pay interest because they are behind on their tax lien. So as an investor, you bought the lien certificate, and they have to pay interest to you. And then if they do catch up and pay that money, then they paid you interest. So they keep the property, but they have to pay the remaining balance of the taxes, and they have to pay you the interest because you bought that lien certificate. But you will lose your property at the auction and the redemption in some states to you if they don't pay in that redemption period. But you as an investor, you have to foreclose on the property, and this is how you would have to do it. But if you do all of these things, and if you don't, let's say it takes you 3 months to do this, and then they catch up and pay everything off before you can complete the foreclosure, they can get the property back in some states. Every state is different. How to tax sales apply in commercial real estate. Like I said, the redemption period is often shorter. There's larger liens. So commercial tax liens are like 20,000. So it could be a little harder for them to get their property back. Upside and downside, big interest earnings on property ownership risk, environmental risks, like gas stations, shops may carry clean up obligations. So like if you buy that property, they may say like, okay, John owned the property for 10 years. You are going to get the property, but they didn't take care of the property. So you have environmental obligations standards that you have to meet, because they might be like, well, you're on a gas station, so the soil has to be this clean, or you have a laundry mat, but they let the piping in the back for the past 30 years, they didn't clean it. So you got to clean all of this stuff up because the last owners did not clean it. And with commercial real estate, they'll be on you. Like if you get a property and you want to rent it out, you have to meet standards in the county and the inspections before you can rent it out legally, or you can rent it out and then you can have a tenant tear it up, and then you can go to court and be like, I rent my property out, my tenant didn't pay, I can't kick him out, I can't evict him, what am I supposed to do? And the judge is gonna be like, you weren't even supposed to be renting this, you didn't get it, you rented it illegally. So here's some examples. Tax lien on residential, you buy it for 5,000 at 16% in Arizona, redemption 12 months. Okay, here's an example of what I was saying. You receive 5,000 plus $800 interest, but you don't get the property like over the outcome, because let's say that they catch up for the 5,000 and they pay you your interest. So they get their property, you don't get it. Commercial real estate, you buy a $50,000 lien on a Florida retail building, not redeemed. So the foreclosure, negative $3,000 cost. You acquired the building subject to environmental review. Now they have to come and do everything I just said. These are on the tax liens, tax deed, residential. Let's say you in Michigan, you buy an auction for $15,000 for market value of $90,000. You get an immediate deed transfer, rehab, resale. You fix it, sell it at market value. You have immediate deed transfer. So that's when you get the tax deed. Tax deed in commercial. You buy a Texas warehouse for $120,000, 6-month redemption. If redeemed, you get $120,000 plus 25% penalty. So it's $150,000. If not, you own the warehouse. 50 state tax sale reference chart. I'm not going to go over this. I have a different one that I'm going to pull up instead. Tax lien versus tax sale. Full 50 state investor reference. This chart shows all 50 states and whether they conduct tax lien, tax sale, tax deed sale, or hybrid system. It also highlights general redemption rules when applicable. I'm not going to go through all of these. I'm just going to look at the difference. You have a redemption period of 3 years in Alabama, no redemption in Alaska. So you're done, you're cooked. And is this your state? So with 3 years, I would believe this is commercial. I apologize. All right, here, 6-month commercial, no year residential. Let's see what they say in Michigan. No redemption. Oh, that's on tax deeds. Okay, so they're just giving us a variety. If it's tax lien or tax deed. So I'd have to check and see if it's for residential or commercial. My apologies. But yeah, if you want to pause the video and look at it and see the difference between states. You know what I'm saying? Each state is different. And who knows, a new governor and a new law and a new House and a new Senate could come in and change it. And then 3 years or 10 years later, they could change it again. And then an insurance company can complain and then they could change it again. It just changes and changes. So that's why you have to know deed versus title. You have to know insurance. You have to know all that stuff. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it, man. You know, the auction can be fun, but you need to know what you're doing. You usually need to come with $1,000 on a prepaid, and you have to have proof of your proof of income proof of income basically to show that you can do it. Because if they're going to let you get the property, and then you don't have any proof that you have money, they just missed out. Whoever's auctioning the property, the government, the lender, whoever, if they're auctioning the property and they're like, okay, we'll take your auction, then you go to buy it, and then you don't have the money, they're going to be like, well, we just missed out on selling the property. So you have to prove you have the money. And that is about it. So, want to say thank you for watching the video. Appreciate it. If you need anything, if you're looking to buy a home, if you're looking to sell a home, if you're looking to do investments, I can, just we can run your credit. We can see, we can get you started and be like, hey, this is where you're at. Because a lot of people think I can't get a house. What am I going to do? But you need to pre-plan. If you can't get a house in January, let's, at least try to set you up to be like, hey, if you do A, B, and C and D, you'll have a property by August or by April or by May. Some people, they might not even be able to get the property by November, but real estate is a process. And if you really want a house for you and your family, time goes by so fast. Be patient, be dedicated, stay focused so you can get that property that you want. That's my advice. Would you rather pay $2,100 a month in your escrow account for your principal and your interest and your insurance and your taxes and your mortgage? Well, that's pretty much everything right there. But or would you rather pay $2,500 for rent that you don't even own? If you fall behind on your rent, your landlord could kick you out. You fall behind on your mortgage, they give you time to pay it. And then if you go into foreclosure for some reason, you have redemption periods that you can get your house back. If something happens, you know what I mean? People fall behind, but you can catch up. It's your property. You can work hard for it. If you want to sell your property, there's do free property. If you look right here, free property evaluation, walk through the property, look, see if there's something wrong with the foundation, something wrong with the ceiling, the ceiling, a little curved, because then, there could be something coming through the roof. Is the floor, the subfloor, is, anything, just check it out. A lot of people want higher prices for the property. Like, I'm not taking any less. I don't care what you say, but then you got to point out and show them the comps here, what they're going for in the area. Show them, you're going to pay about 7 to 8% when you sell your property. Some people don't take that into, evaluate, or they don't take that into consideration. So it's things like that that matter. And if you know and you understand the concept, instead of trying to sell it by yourself, which 90% of people who try to sell it by themselves end up getting a realtor because they don't understand that it is a lot of stuff you need to know. Hit me up. I can help you out. I'd love to. So thank you for watching this. And I hope everybody has a blessed day.